let us now discuss how nanoparticles can be used in neuroelectronic interfaces. Neuroelectronic interfaces are a system in which nano devices are operating through computers. But these devices are in a way linked to your nervous system. So it's like these devices are implanted in the nervous system of an individual, but they are controlled by computers. Isn't that interesting? Now this is going to permit control and detection of nerve impulses by an external computer to which this device is linked. Now why do we make use of these devices? Please understand that there are several neurological disorders where the nervous system is decaying over time. It is losing its functionality, like amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, multiple sclerosis, and even injuries and accidents which impair the nervous system, resulting in dysfunctional systems. In such circumstances, it becomes very essential to understand what is the damage caused to the nervous system, to what extent, and how is the system functioning right now. Many a times, it may need some kind of an external support to carry out its function effectively. So if computers are able to interpret this data and support the nervous system using these neuroelectronic interfaces, then the problems that are related to the neurological system can be controlled to a great extent, if not cured. So it's like a mechanical aid, a mechanical support that you are providing to the nervous system. One of the most interesting facts about this is that these devices are refuelable and non-refuelable types also, which means that if the power of the system is over, you can refuel it. Well, some of these devices are wherein once the power is exhausted, you cannot refuel it. You may have to install a new device. Obviously, refuelable devices are much in demand because then it's very easy to install them for once and then the system functions effectively. Because every time installing a new device means performing a surgery, which is going to increase the expense of the overall treatment, and obviously the pain is a separate aspect associated with it. Let us see how nano devices are made use of in cell repair mechanisms. We know that healing is a long and complicated process. Tissues do have the ability to repair on their own, but then it takes a lot of time for it to do so. And it's also influenced by several physiological conditions as well. Like in case of diabetic patients, let me tell you that healing takes a phenomenally long period of time. But what if I tell you that you could have nanomachines and devices which would sense damages in your body, make modifications, and that too in a non-invasive way? Isn't that very interesting? So it's going to involve a mechanism wherein repair is carried as and when necessary, without even having any invasive procedures. Many a times these devices may involve small needles, but let me tell you that they do not cause much harm to the cell and no pain is associated with it. It has also been seen that nano devices could be involved in or along with proteins which can work in DNA damage or even an enzyme deficiency, because several nanoparticles can act as catalyst. Also, you can pair these kind of nano devices with computer-based assistance so that the repair mechanisms work effectively without causing any harm to the tissue. Most interesting part is that these days people have started mimicking cellular repair mechanisms in the lab. Even people are trying to construct organs in the lab. Cell by cell, tissue by tissue approach is something that is very popular for organogenesis in the lab. That is like, building an organ from the scratch. And that reminds me that why just organs? People are even working to understand if we can build cells from scratch in the lab. Isn't that really interesting? And if that is possible, then you know the answer, that majority of the disorders where the cells have lost their ability or the cells are not multiplying, in those circumstances, these lab-made cells could be a new ray of hope. especially in neurological disorders wherein we know that neurons lack the ability to divide. Also, in case of autoimmune disorders, this could be one of the very, very new approaches wherein we introduce lab-made cells back into the system to restore balance that is lost. We have several more applications coming up, but this is an overview of different applications which you will find for nanotechnology in the area of medicine.